Alright everyone, and welcome to my playthrough of Dark Souls. I have played Dark Souls for quite a bit. I'm by no means good at it, but I never really paid much attention to lore and item description, so I wanted to do a run where I was. And I wanted to do another build, just to try out different elements of the game. And hence came the thoughts of doing a public playthrough of me playing and recording and posting this on YouTube. And well, for those of you who have noticed the title of the series of the playthrough and the face, yes, this is Goldfish, and yes, she is based on someone, and yes, the title of the series refers to that. I'm not gonna go into any explanation about that. I don't care. You either get it or you don't, and that's the important bit. So yeah, that. So let's just play this game, right? I had the idea of going a faith build, or at least a well, buff faith build. I don't know if I should go into all the stats just now, or to just start playing. Yeah, let's take a quick gander at stats. So, mutant goldfish, not in a covenant, level 9. This is the level of the knight. No souls, and leveling up requires this amount of souls. Right. So we have, and I should be able to. Yeah, here we go. We have figure, HP, focus points, and 2 slots, which basically says, oh, you can use this amount of spells, and FP basically is your mana. So stamina, doing whatever you do, it costs stamina. Just replenishes quite quickly, but of course you want to watch your stamina management. Vitality, physical defenses, equip loads, poison resistance. Your equip load, you can see it right here. That determines your invincibility frames while rolling. So if you have a low enough equip load, you have quite a good amount of invincibility frames while dodging attacks and such. And if you have a high equip load, by wearing heavy armor and such, you have less invincibility frames, so your dodging is less effective. Strength, well, some requirement for certain weapons. Improves attack power. Same for dexterity, but this also comes into play for spellcasting time. So the higher dexterity is, the less time it consumes for you to cast spells, and it reduces fall damage, but that's not really important. Intelligence used for sorceries, pyromancies just for magic. Same with faith, also for pyromancies, but also for miracles and luck. We're not going to pay much attention to that. So yeah, but I was thinking of doing a faith dex build, and originally I was going to do a faith strength build. Faith refers to the person I based this character on. Close translation of her last name. And strength because she said, well, she used to say, I'm stronger than I look. But I do have a endgame character, and I tried out some of the strength weapons, and I'm not really fond of them, so I'm just gonna go with dexterity. I chose knight over any other class because I did the min-maxing in Murder Monkey, basically. What is what I'm telling you. So knight came out most favorably for this build. So yeah, there we go. I am playing online, by the way. So you may have noticed the shade passing just by. Yeah, we can see shades of other people playing this game. We will also see messages of other people popping up. We will probably get invaded at some point, and we will probably join a covenant covering PvP. So these are just again, these are messages. Control camera, yeah. Well, I'm playing on PC, by the way, and this is obviously meant for PS4. So I'm not gonna put too much attention to that. What I'm gonna put some attention to is the items we have. Look at this. We have an Estus flask. Our healing items. The Undead treasure, these dull green flasks. It's not really green, it's like bright yellow, but sure. Fill with Estus at bonfires and drink to restore HP. The journey of an undead has always traced bonfires, and no journey of import has been made without an Estus flask. So yeah, health potions. We also start with a dark sign. The sign of an accursed undead, and yes, we are undead. The dark sign returns is buried to the last bonfire, rest the dead, or at the bonfire at Firelink Shrine. If this is your first time playing, you're like, Firelink Shrine, where is it? Yeah, we'll see that in a bit. But this warping comes at the cost of all souls held. Souls, as we will see, are the currency in this game. I mean, the game is called for a reason, Dark Soul. By defeating enemies you get souls, and you can, you know, like, turn these souls in for either levels or for items. Carriers of the dark sign are reborn after death, and eventually lose their minds, turning hollow. And so it is, they are driven from their homelands. Alright. We also have a black separation crystal, a charm of farewell granted to banished undead. The crystal sends phantoms back to their homes, or you back to yours. Beware of fickle use of this item if you intend to nurture relations. So if you invade another player, or go up with another player, you can use this crystal to get back to your own world. On the flip side, if you have summoned someone and you've no more need for them, you can just use this separation crystal to send them back. And we have also the Way of White Circlets, online play item. This is not important. So let's see what else we have. No materials, no key items, no spells. Melee weapons, we have a longsword. A balanced, widely used, standard straight sword. Inflicts reliable standard damage as well as high thrust damage. And we do have skills in this game. It stands, while in stance, use normal attack to break a foe's guard from below, and strong attack to slash upwards with a forward line. No, just normal attacking, one-handed. Look at this. Looks nice. We also have heavy attacks, and you can just pop up a heavy attack or charge it for more damage. We can also two-hand our weapons, so light and heavy. And of course, you can also combine it with other movement. So there's that. And the stance, and I think I routed it to this button. Yeah, there we go. Stance. So you can either go for light attack or for heavy attack. And as you see, that it consumes stamina, it consumes FP, these stances, these skills. Alright, what else? Oh. That's not what I want to do at all. So I'm probably gonna cut that out. Let's see, what else do we have? No range weapons, no catalysts. We do have a shield. Orthodox shield of the kind commonly used by low-ranking knights, which we are. Medium shields are the most average of shields, providing a practical balance of damage, absorption, stability, and weight. And this skill is parry. This is a skill that doesn't cost any FP. You can just repel an attack at the right time to follow up with a critical hit. Now, I'm just really bad at parrying, so I'm probably not going to do that much. Let's see, we have a knight helm. Helm of a lowly knight, fashioned from solid iron. I haven't equipped it. This iron helm might be on the heftier side compared to others of its ilk, but as such offers great physical absorption in exchange for impossible weight. Do not think to wear it without the necessary vitality. Cool. And this just repeats pretty much what we heard earlier. Now, this is my burial gift. You start the game with a burial gift. You can pick an item, and I pick the life ring. A generations old ring set with a small red jewel. Raises maximum HP. Rings have unique powers, and the discovery will do much to ease a wearisome journey. So there we go. And no covenant, of course. And then we're back here. So, the item description talked about hollows. Well, that, my friends, is a hollow. It has lost its mind wandering these lands. So, this is the bear, by the way. As soon as it's spotted, it's gonna attack. We're just gonna block and kill it. Very, very hard. That's the way to progress the game, but for now we're first gonna go that way. I will pick up an item. And we will be picking up the soul of a deserted corpse. Let's look at the item, shall we? Soul of a deserted corpse. Soul found in a deserted corpse. Well, used to acquire souls. I have now 20 souls, because I slain a hollow, and you can consume this item to get a bunch more souls. Let the firekeeper transform this sovereignless soul into a source of strength, for the unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Yes, we are unkindled, and what that implies we will find out in a bit. And who or what the firekeeper is, we shall discover too shortly. Keep in mind, sometimes these guys play possum. So yeah, we approach, it stands up and tries to kill us. Doesn't work like that. Ashen Estus Flask. Our normal Estus Flasks restore HP, and these Ashen Estus Flask restores FP. So I've used some FP, so I can just drink from the Ashen Estus Flask and get some more FP. Here the developers are trying to teach us how to perform a backstab. There we go, counts as a critical hit, so more damage, fun for everyone. And again, some dudes playing that, and there's a guy with a crossbow. Fading soul. I'll look at the description in a bit. Let's first deal with this guy. No, bad guy. Stay down. Alright, we picked up a fading soul. The fading soul of a corpse. It's not gonna get any more intelligent than that. Right. Now this way, it's not a way to progress the story, but there is a nifty mini boss here, and yeah, you see there a shade of another player just rolling around here. Frolicking. Well, we have an item, nice, and there we have a humongous beast. So let's fight it, shall we? This is a ravenous crystal lizard. They hit like a school boss. Why did I say school boss? They hit like a ton of bricks. Night luckily starts with 100% shield, block shield, so they can't do any harm. If we block, does drain our stamina a bit, and you gotta watch out for these crystals because they will penetrate your shield. So most of these attacks can be evaded, of course. I never get to evade that swipe of his. Oh, or we can perform a critical. There we go. Doing enough damage to a foe, large or not, usually. Oh, yeah, that was sloppy. Usually result in him staggering, and then you can perform a critical hit. And that swipe. I hate that swipe. There we go. Titanite skill. Nice. Let's look at what we got. You'll find Titanite in your material box. Reinforces soul transposed weapons to +4. Titanite is your upgrade material. Titanite altered by a soul. Reinforces soul transposed weapons to +4. And what soul transposed weapons are, we will find out in another episode, I think. Weapons forged by soul transposition can only be reinforced by Titanite of the same kind. In rare cases, crystal lizards devour souls, growing to monstrous proportions and leaving these great skills. Now, crystal lizards are usually tiny, innocent creatures that you can just slay for their treasure that they will be like upgrade material. And these guys fed on souls and fed themselves so much that they transformed in these huge hulking beasts. So yeah, we also picked up the soul of an unknown traveler, and of course the description says soul found in a corpse of an unknown traveler. You're unknown, buddy. Alright, let's continue. By the way, if you notice these blood stains, you can just see how someone else met their demise. Right. So let's go on. Let's progress the story a bit. Here's another dude. And that's pretty much all there is in this area. So yeah, being undead, we just woke up from our slumber because there was apparently need for our expertise, I could say. This is a graveyard, to say it bluntly. And we are now just exiting the graveyard, and just look at that view. Gorgeous. Gorgeous! Yeah. And look at this huge castle just sitting on top of this graveyard here. So, continue, and here we find a bonfire. The bonfires are practically the save points of your game. If you die, you'll respawn at your bonfire, or at least at the last bonfire you rested at. And let's see, we just got a nice new gesture. Let's not perform these questionable gestures. Alright, so the way to progress is that way. And you see, there is our destination. Now we can see some hollows right here, and there's one standing right there. So I'm just going to clear the area. Oh, he was curious. And pick up any items of value. Oh yeah, that sound, critical hit. So if you block an attack, then you have a short window to perform a critical attack. Right. Let's see if we can perform a plunging attack on this guy. Of course we can't. Hey, look, items. Cleric Sacred Chime, Fading Soul, and Firebombs. Alright. Firebombs. Bisque urn filled with black powder explodes, inflicting fire damage. Fire damage, which differs from physical damage, is highly effective against creatures of flesh, beasts, and other foes that might naturally have cause to fear the flame. These are basically your grenades. We also picked up a Cleric Sacred Chime. Sacred Chime for casting miracles of the gods. Chimes these are often given to clerics who become undead. Equip a talisman or a sacred chime to cast miracles. Miracles must be attuned at a bonfire before use. Skill, Gentle Prayer, recovers HP for a period of time, albeit extremely slowly. Work well equipped in either hand. So yeah. As I mentioned, I am planning to do a faith build, or a faith buff build anyway. So we are going to use either a chime or a talisman, and both have different weapon arts. The chimes restore some HP at a slow rate, and you do need to hold the chime for it to work. And the talisman, on the other hand, just gives you poise, making it harder to interrupt your attacks. Alright. We made a jump here, nice on the coffin, not sarcophagus or something, and we find a dude sitting on top of it. Well, obviously dead, and maybe someone let him out, I don't know. Maybe he just needed a breather. But we picked up some Titanite, let's see what it is. Just your regular Titanite shard. For weapon reinforcement, reinforce weapons to +3. Titanite shards are fragments of the legendary slabs. Titanite is etched into weapons to reinforce it. Now, if you look here, I have just a regular long sword, and you see right here. Oh, that's not what I meant to do. The can I go to? No. There we go. You see here the physical damage affected by my attacks, right? So if I reinforce my longsword, then it would go to a longsword +1, the physical damage would be upgraded, so it would be higher. You can also see here other types of damage that my weapon might be dealing, but this is just a plain old longsword, so just purely physical. Some weapons have an additional effect, like they inflict bleed, and that causes a bleed build-up, and if the bar reaches the end, you'll cause the bleeding effect, which is just a big loss of health. Poison, just like in other games, poison just, when it takes effect, it just slowly pings away health. And frost slows stamina regeneration and the effectiveness of armor. Alright, I should probably talk about this as well. The attribute bonuses, they determine how well a certain weapon fits with a certain stat. So for example, you see here double Ds. The higher the denotation or the annotation, the better the weapon scales with your stats. So for example, D is low, you have A, B, C, D, and highest is actually S, but whatever D is quite low. And you see also here the attribute requirement. So for example, you need 10 strength for this weapon and 10 dexterity. As you level this weapon up, the letters will change probably to CC or something, so they scale better with your stats. So you can pick your weapon and you can cherry pick your weapon just to suit it to your build. And this is basically an all-round weapon. So if you level up both your strength and dexterity, you know, these are just kind of the weapons you're probably gonna use. Alright, so let's just plunge down this guy. And this patch the archer right here. And yeah, there we see this guy standing there. Or actually just kneeling down. Now I'm just gonna go back to the bonfire, refill my health bar. We're gonna go face the boss of this area. Mind you, once you rest at the bonfire, all enemies in the area will respawn. So yeah, he is back. Come on, say hello. Some more useless items. Let's perform another plunging attack right on this dude. Thank you for the souls. And archer dude. Oh, they do like dropping. Alright. Oh, that could have been worded. Oh, better. Alright, so let's look what we have here. Let's take a look, see. Alright. Huge guy. Just kneeling here. Obviously not responding to anything. And we see a prompt. Remove sword. As you can see, he's been impaled by a sword. Take good notice. This is a coiled sword, and we just saw one earlier at the bonfire. The guy is huge. Look at us. We're standing right next to him, and even kneeling with his head down, he's larger than us. Wow. Do note this black goo just I don't know what it's doing. It just looks gross. Right. So this guy obviously not in a good shape. But once we remove the sword, he will come alive and you know, try to kill us big as well. That's what you do to the one who saves you, right? Just try and stop him in the dirt. Right. So he can be quite intimidating. This boss has two phases. The first not that scary, but once phase 2 starts, he can look pretty intimidating. The main challenge for this fight is just not to let it get to you. Just go with flow, and he does have a serious weak spot on his left side. Alright, so what we're gonna do, I'm gonna pull this sword out, I'm gonna give him some punches, and then we're gonna stay on his left side. And we'll see that most of his attacks are gonna miss us. Or at least, the worst ones will not affect us too much. So here we go. Can't be too healthy, right? And boss fight starts. Oh! Just stay to his left, and you see his attacks will probably just miss you. Now, be aware, of course, that there is a ledge here, and he can just knock you off that. Again, most of his attacks can be blocked. And just circling to his left prevents you from getting hit. And his attacks do have quite some time to them, long wind up. So you can't just evade them easily. Phase 2 should start about any time. Yeah, look at that. That looks properly intimidating. Again, just stay to his left, and most of his attacks should miss you. As scary as the boss looks, try and stay close to him. He is much more devastating leaping towards you. I wonder if I can... yeah, that's a leap. Just... that's what I mean. He just jumps out of it. Jumps out of your screen. And lands on top of you. Usually just rolling once will get you out of range. But I rolled way too early so he could land on me. But your strategy is just staying close to him. If he jumps, just roll out of the way and get back to him. And he should be no trouble at all if you stick to that strategy. Alright, so Udex Conir, that was the guy. If you are having some trouble with them, and if you're not a pyromancer, these fire bombs do help you. In the second phase, you're extremely weak to fire, so you can just keep your distance if you really can't stay close. Just keep your distance, roll away from everything he does, and when you have a second, just chuck one of these fire bombs at him. Alright, so let's continue here. We need to go through these doors to progress. And there we are. And I'm gonna pick up the most holy weapon of all. The broken straight sword. Alright, let's take a look at it. Straight sword with a broken blade. A weapon with no exceptional qualities. Only a mad hollow would choose to fight with this. Skill. Stance. While a stance, use normal attacks to break a foe's guard from below and strong attacks to slash upwards with a forward lunge. Only neither move will appear very impressive with a broken sword. So this is mainly a challenge weapon. You know, for players looking for an extra challenge, they can just go ahead, equip the broken straight sword and you know, try to beat the game with that. And the game kind of lampshades that. This is a bit of tradition since Dark Souls 1, so. Alright, so let's head down this cliff here. We'll see some enemies, and this one guy obviously already ran for a fight. Let's see if I can get him to do this. For these guys with a shield, you can either just try to knock their shield aside just by attacking. You can also just kick. Stop attacking and let me show. You are being uncooperative, right? And you can perform a critical hit by just kicking their shields away. They'll be stunned for a second or two, and gives you some time to attack or to catch your breath if you're out of stamina or something. A homeward bone. Alright, let's see. A bone fragment reduced to white ash. Return to last bonfire used for resting or to the shrine bonfire. So this basically is a consumable version of the dark sign. Except this one doesn't cost you all your souls. Bonfires are sustained by the bones of the undead. In rare cases, their previous owner's strong urge to seek bonfires enchants their bones with a homeward instinct. So yeah, we're just basically desecrating the dead for fast traveling. Yeah, nice. Here we go. We got some more hollows up ahead. So let's deal with them. Yeah, these guys there will just wake up once we start. Slaying their friends. Let's just go around them. Let's go around the annoying crossbow guy and spear guy. Well, that hit. There we go. If we go back here, we will see one of these hollows enjoying the landscape. He is right, isn't he? This just looks gorgeous. And now we have a better view. It just looks epic. Alright, so I think if you progress certain quest lines, items will show up here. But not now, so let's just go on and explore the place a bit further before we go inward. Alright, so here a dog will ambush us. Down, Fido, down. Bad dog. And we will find an ember. Let's take a look at this. Ember, gain strength of flame. No unkindled can ever truly claim the embers that burn within a champion's bosom, which is precisely what makes a yearning for warmth so keen. Gain the strength of flame and increase maximum HP until death. With the strength of fire, the summoning signs of unkindled become visible and seekers of embers can be summoned to join in cooperation. But beware, the embers may also attract invaders. As you can see, my character is just glowing stuff. It's ambered. After you defeat a boss, you will become automatically ambered, but you can also find these embers around the world. Certain enemies will also drop them, and you'll enter an embered state, and that increases your HP by 30%. If you want to summon another player or an NPC, you have to be embered. But yeah, if you are embered, your world can be found by people who are looking for a world to invade. So the PvP covenants, they will invade you. Alright. That guy there, Swordmaster, can be difficult to dispatch, and I'm not going to do that right now. I have no interest in... I do have an interest in his weapon, actually, but I'm not going to do it just yet. First gonna dispatch these dudes and grab the shield that's on this tree right here. East-West shield. Mind you, if you try to take this shield without dispatching these hollows beforehand, they will come up and attack you from behind. Alright, let's see. East-West shield. A wooden shield decorated with the ancient symbol of the two-headed eagle, close to a small shield in size. Wooden shields are light, manageable, and offer relatively high magic absorption. And of course you can pair it with this weapon. Now, if you look at the stats, and the guard absorption, that's what's important for shields. So this shield offers a 55 physical absorption, 17 magic, 53 fire, and so on and so on. So not all that high except for the magic absorption. Our stability says something about the amount of stamina it costs for blocking. So the lower the stability, the more stamina it costs for blocking. Our own knight shield, 100% physical, so any sword slash that's purely physical will not penetrate the shields. It's of course a bit weaker against all the other elements, but for now it's just fine. And it does have a high stability, so blocking consumes less stamina. Alright. Here we find another ember. And I think we can drop down somewhere. Oh no, here. Here we can find some more homeward bones. And we can drop down here, and this is where we encountered our stray dog. Alright, it seems it's time to get inside the building. And you can see immediately these thrones here are empty except for one. And we already see a couple of NPCs. This is Firelink Shrine. This is the main hub of the area. If you want to level, if you want to buy stuff, you can do it here. You also need to deliver certain items here to progress the storyline. And certain NPCs will also show up in order for you to advance their questlines. Let's first talk to this guy. He seems like a cheerful fellow.
Another one roused from the sleep of death.
Yes, indeed. Yes, we are.
Well, you're not alone.
No?
We unkindled.
Oh, you were too.
Can't even die right.
Well, luckily, I'd say.
Gives me conniptions. And they'd have us seek the lords of Cinder and return them to their moulding thrones. But we're talking true legends with the metal to loot the fire. Not fit to lick their boots.
And we get a great gesture for hearing him complain. Alright, let's... Yeah. Alright, so if you look at these thrones, Mr. Conniptions just gave us some very nice exposition. These thrones all belong to Lords of Cinder, and the only one present is Ludloth, and we will be talking to him in a bit. We are unkindled, and the basic storyline of every Dark Souls game is that the Age of Fire is at its end, and it needs the flame needs someone to rekindle it to serve as fuel, and we unkindled ones are basically ones who in the past tried to relight the fire. I'm not gonna make stupid references anymore. To refuel the flame. But we weren't fit to become Lord of Sinners. We lacked the willpower. So we became Ash, unkindled ones. And Lords of Cinder are those who did have the willpower to live through the rekindling of the fire. So let's talk to one of these lords, shall we? You can find their epitaph down, by the way, here at the back of the sheet. So Ludloth, the exiled.
All that unkindled, and a seeker of lords.
Apparently so we are.
I am Ludloth of Corland. Look not in bewilderment as I say. I linked the fire long ago, becoming the Lord of Cinder.
Just look at this guy, he's missing his legs.
Thy want. Set thine eyes.
So talking about willpower, this guy just was roused from his grave, managed to crawl all the way here without legs, and, you know, like, climbed onto his throne, for crying out loud.
Knowest thou of our purpose? 5 thrones will take 5 lords as kindling for the linking of the fire. The fast fading flame must be linked to preserve this world. A reenactment of the first linking of the fire. So it is, I became a Lord of Cinder. I may be but small, but I will die a Colossus.
So yeah, I may be a bit small, but I will die a Colossus. Speaking of willpower. Right, so he says that we need 5 Lords of Cinder to reenact the first linking of the flame. For those of you who played Dark Souls 1, the first linking of the flame was done by the Lord of Sun, Gwyn, a god, basically, one of the first to ever hold a soul, and in his case, a Lord soul. So when the fire started to fade for the first time, he linked the fire, and the plot of Dark Souls 1 is basically to either succeed in his steps or to let the fire fade away. And that's just how dire the situation is by now. Countless of cycles and ages have come and gone, and now it needs 5 Lords of Cinder to rekindle the fire once more. By the by, we are not the only Unkindled one. Mr. Conniptions is an Unkindled one. And there are several others roaming your world as NPCs. And every one of these Unkindled ones is linked to a lot of Cinder. But we will find out, or I'll show you which one belongs to which one later in the game. So let's talk to the rest of the these NPCs. This is the Firekeeper.
To the bonfire, unkindled one. I'm a firekeeper. I tend to the flame and tend to thee. The lords have left their thrones and must be delivered to them.
So she too urges us to go and get these Lords of Souls.
To be unkindled is to be a vessel for souls. Sovereignless souls will become thy strength. I will show thee how. Ashen One, bring me souls plucked from their vessels.
So she basically tells us, level up here. And that's fine, of course.
Farewell, Ashen One. May the flames guide thee.
Look at that nice cutscene. She actually also responds to your gestures, to your emotes, which is actually kind of adorable. She will respond to them all, I guess. But yeah. Here we have the Shrine Handmaiden.
Pleasure to make thine acquaintance, Ashen One. I am but a humble handmaid of the shrine.
And straight out of Dark Souls 2.
Armor, trinkets, and spells. I've lots of little things to ease the burden of a weary traveller. And yes, I'm undead too, but not so charitable as to give my goods away. Ashen One, fetch souls and bring them to me. As is thy wont? No?
Yeah, she's just your real regular grandma type.
Ashen One, if my wares are not to thy satisfaction, bring me umbral ash. With ash, I'll fashion new wares. Is it not our sorry fate to sup on death?
So yeah, if you find Ash somewhere in the world, in the game world, you can bring it to her and she'll expand her inventory. If you happen to kill any NPC that sells you stuff, they will always drop their Ash, and you can bring it to her, and she will add the stuff that the other NPC sell to her own inventory. She will comment on it though that you probably just killed someone. Probably just killed them. Alright, just like take a look at the wares. She sells some embers, repair powder. Every action you do with your weapons just degrades their durability. So if you have a low durability weapon, you might want to pack some repair powders, but you can also just rest at the bonfire to restore its durability. Purple Musclum, you can use this to combat the poison status. She sells fire bombs, prism stones. You can use these to mark the way, or to test if a fall from a ledge is lethal. You can buy some homeward bones. White soapstone, she'll talk about this if you prompt her further. You can use this to be summoned into another world. So you can put down your summon sign somewhere, and if someone within your level range or in your upgrade range is nearby, they can just walk up to your summon sign and, well, summon you. Dried Finger, yeah, they say used to strengthen connection. Basically, you can only summon 2 phantoms, and you can only be invaded by 1 dark spirit. But using this item allows you to summon a 3rd phantom or have a 2nd dark spirit in your world. So mainly useful for guys looking for fight clubs or something like that. Soul Arrow Sorcery, we're not going to use that. Farron Dart, we're not going to use that. Sorceries. Heal 8, this is a miracle, this is faith magic. Now, this isn't all that exciting, so I'm not gonna buy it. We can get better in a bit. She also sells some more weapons, some more armor, and as you go on and collect Ash and bring it to her, she'll expand her inventory. This one we can probably just buy already. We have almost... well, we've over 7,500 souls, so we can spend a bit, right? Let's buy this soapstone, talisman, and a torch. It's not really necessary to have a torch for, you know, dark spaces, because, well, we'll see by then, but certain enemies inflict you with bleed status by actually covering you with maggots, and if you hold a torch out, these maggots will just fall off you and the bleed buildup will be reduced. So it's a handy tool. Alright, that's pretty much everything for now.
Be sure to bring more souls.
Alright, and the last conversation we're gonna have is with Andre right over here. And yes, he is back from Dark Souls 1, people.
Well, a new
And do note his lips. He's one of the only NPCs with moving lips while they talk.
as a humble smith forging weapons. You're in search of the Lords of Cinder, I trust. A toilsome journey, I wager. You'll require good arms. Let me smith you weapons. I am a smith. Such is my purpose.
He does sound a bit creepy, but he's a really nice guy.
Weapons and protection are sturdy enough by and large, but when overused, they'll eventually break. When their durability is low, repair becomes a necessity. Use a powder, or simply rest at a bonfire. But should chance impel them break, bring them me. I'll hammer them back into shape.
So yeah, if you just ignore the durability of a weapon and you don't use repair powder or revisit the bonfire, your weapon will break, and that translates to a huge decrease in damage output, and you need to visit Andre for him to fix your weapon.
There are 2 ways to smith weapons. Simple reinforcement is one, and infusion the other. Reinforcement is straightforward. It strengthens a weapon without altering its property. Infusion is a more advanced form of smithing that infuses an element. Reinforcement requires titanite, and infusion requires gems. Bring the stones, and I'll do the smithing. It's my purpose after all. In battle, your weapons are your only friends. Forge them well, and they won't let you down.
And a nice gesture for troubles. Alright, so at Andre you can reinforce your weapons. You can see it right here. If you have enough Titanite shards, you can upgrade your weapons from, in this case, a longsword to a longsword +1. And you'll see that not only the base damage here goes up by 11 points from 110 to 121, but also your scaling, in this case, the scaling of the weapon increases. So that means it starts to scale better with strength, and you'll see that even without changing our stats, the scaling, the damage from scaling increases from 14 to 17. So all in all, that's a 14 point increase in damage. Doesn't sound like much, but as you increase your stats and as you reinforce your weapon, you will get. So alright, so the file just notified me it was beginning to get too large. I should watch the time while they were making these videos. So I was saying, as you upgrade your weapon, your base damage goes up. It usually starts to scale better with your stats, so the damage from your scaling goes up as well. You can also infuse weapons. Let's take a look at our longsword. We can use refined, raw, or fire infusions. Refined infusions causes your weapons to scale better with both strength and dexterity, but at the cost of a lower base damage. So we see it here, just without going to +1, but just our baseline longsword. The physical damage, the base damage goes down to 99, but our scaling goes up. If you make a raw weapon, you remove the scaling altogether, but the base damage just increases. So if you're making a build that relies on other stats than strength or dexterity, for example, you're a pure mage build, so going full intelligence or you're going full faith or whatever, raw weapons are your friend. And fire, last but not least, they remove the scaling as well, and they split your damage between physical and fire. You'll also have, of course, magic, lightning and dark and such. But you have to be aware that in this game, defenses work. This works too. It's a two-edged sword. Some enemies are weak to fire, so yes, you'll do more damage. On the other hand, every type of attack power gets checked versus its own type of defense. So your physical damage is checked against a certain amount of defense, as is the fire amount. It's not just one big thing. So this gives you an attack power of 186, but in the end you'll probably do lower damage with a fire gem against enemies that aren't weak to fire than with a raw longsword, which is just a base physical power of 136. Right, so I'm not going to infuse, not looking to...
Be careful, I don't want to.
In this bit of the shrine, NPCs will start to appear if you set them here. So, mostly NPCs. But for now, before I wrap this up, there's just one thing I want to do. Just look up there. There's an item, and we can get there. Normally, you'd need to buy a certain and heavily priced key off of the Shrine Handmaiden, but we're not going to do that. We're going to use a... Well, officially it's called a glitch, but it's more of an exploit. But before we do that, look at this. This is a giant from Dark Souls 2. All plantified, treeified. You can examine prompts, nothing yet. Every time you're invaded, there's a chance that this giant tree will drop a seed. I think the chance is about 50%. And every time a seed falls, you can use it. Well, you can just take it with you and use it to give you an advantage during an invasion. Normally, if you're invaded, the regular enemies won't bother the invader. They just ignore it. If you pop a seed of a giant tree, then the invader can aggro enemies just as you can. So normally during some invasions, you'll notice how the invadee or the invader just at times retreats back to mobs in the world and try to take advantage of that. And you can just pop a seed of a giant tree and, you know, turn them on your invader. But for now, I want to get up there. And you can use this tree to jump onto the roof here. So let's see if we can do that. And normally you have to get here through this this locked door up along the tower, and you can see right there the tower, the bridge is broken. So you can drop down safely and kick this ladder down. But we should be able to jump from this tree onto the roof. And actually, before I do that, I should go ahead and buy some items that I can drop at certain spots. So let me go back real quick, just a minute. There we go. Hello. We're gonna purchase a firebomb and a prison stone, and that should be all, I think, for now. Yeah. And let's go back. Let's try this. No, no, no. All right. Let's do this. I have done it before, I swear. There we go. Alright, homeward bones. Now, we are gonna go in here, but you can also just continue. There's the annoying NPC that I mentioned. We will take care of him in the next episode, I think. And if we continue this way, we should encounter a crystal lizard, which grants you some unique upgrading materials. But that's not for now. Let's just go in here and walk along the edge. And go up here, where we find an Estus shard. A shard soaked in Estus. Give to the blacksmith at the shrine to increase usages of the Estus flask. In the old days, it was rare to see an Estus flask far from its owner, but this shard offers hope, however shattered. So we can go back to Andre, and he'll make an additional Estus flask for us. Now, here we see a nest of the crows. And in each Dark Souls game, there is somewhere hidden a bunch of crows, or just one, you can trade items with. And we can just leave some items, for example like this fireball. They get way too excited about that. And we get a large Titanite shard in return. So this works the same as a regular Titanite shard, but the large one reinforces your weapons from +3 to up to +6. Now we can of course leave some more items, so let's do that. And then leave a prism stone. Yeah, we will bear these infernal noises. Twinkling Titanite. This is most often dropped by crystal lizards, by the way. Twinkling Titanite for weapon reinforcement. Reinforces weapons steeped in strength to +4. These unique weapons cannot be reinforced with ordinary Titanite, nor can they be infused. Unless one uses this Twinkling Titanite, which reinforces these weapons without unraveling their inherent strength. So there are unique weapons and they consume Twinkling Titanite as opposed to regular Titanite shards. Alright, last. No, one last time. So the first time you drop some items for the crows, and they respond with Pickle Pee, and yes, it's correlated with certain items. You get these call over gesture and iron bracelets. These are the bracelets of Solaire from the first game. So if you want to do a Solaire cosplay, you need to trade items with the crows in order to get this armor set. Alright, durable iron bracelets protecting the wearer's wrists, said to be the bracelets of a Knight of Sunlight from a previous age. Has no particular powers but are of fine quality and evidently well taken care of. No, they aren't better than our Knight gauntlets. Well, not obviously at least. So we're just gonna keep our own stuff. And if we continue here, you'll notice a dead end. Well, no. Hidden passage. So we can drop down here and find a hidden treasure chest, which we can open for the covetous silver serpent ring. Let's see, where are my rings? They are here. A silver ring depicting a snake that could have been, but never was, a dragon. Fallen foes yield more souls. Snakes are known as creatures of great avarice, greed, devouring prey even larger than themselves by swallowing them whole. If one's shackles are cause for discontent, perhaps it's time for some old-fashioned greed. Alright, so with this item, if you kill something, you get more souls. Just one quick drop down here, and we're back at Firelink Shrine. So to wrap this up, I'm gonna light the bonfire here, so we can basically just warp to our next area. There we are. You'll get stained and smelly with grime and such until you rest at the bonfire, then you're cleaned up again. So we can travel to our next area, High Wall of Lothric. We can attune a spell, we don't have any yet, but we do have an attunement slot, so we can attune a spell if we get one. We can organize our storage box, so you can just put items that you don't want to in your storage box. So, if you need to quickly put on some piece of armor or grab a certain weapon, you're not bothered by, you know, like loads and loads of items in your inventory. You can also burn the bone shards here, and these basically increase the effectiveness of your Estus flasks. So your regular Estus flasks heals more HP, and the Ashen ones, they heal more FP. Alright. Let's just wrap it up here. Between episodes, I'll probably level up a bit, and next time we'll probably just go to the High Wall. I saw that. So, goodbye all.